evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. I'm your regular host on Connect with Comfort show, and my name remains Comfort Eyitayo. On this show, we aim to provide value to people, their business, and their personal growth. In running the show, we bring guests who are subject matter experts to help us shed more insight into the topic of the day. I am glad that you are able to join us today, and I welcome you warmly. Thank you for joining us. Today's topic is an interesting one, and that is the business profit commandment. Perhaps it casts our mind back to the Ten Commandments. It's something similar, even though not Ten Commandments. In the current challenging times for business owners, as we all know, competition is fierce and the margin of error is very slim because things are tight. Therefore, there's need to understand fundamental principles that drive profitability in business. And that is what we are referring to today as commandments of business profitability. These commandments, like I said, can mirror the historical counterparts, that is Ten Commandments, because it serves as a guiding pillar. Timeless truths that provide a framework for sustainable success. Today, we will explore these vital edicts from significance of innovation and customer-centric strategies to the imperative of ethical practices and efficient resource management. Each commandment encapsulates a critical aspect of business acumen, offering insights that are as relevant to startup as they are to multinational corporation. All this we shall be going into with great insights from our guests after this short time out. We will be right back. Please remain connected. You are welcome back. We already have our special guest in the house waiting patiently for us. Our special guest for today's show is Dr. Oyefemi Oworu. Dr. Oworu is the head of department, accounting department, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. His research interests are corporate finance, corporate governance, management and accounting information system. He is a seasoned business expert who mentors business owners and executives by equipping them with the skill set needed to become profitable in the business world. He authored a book titled Reveal the Secrets of Making Money. He is passionate about business and technology Before now, he worked at Zenith Bank PLC, Nigeria, where he gathered industry experience. He is also the Chief Executive Officer of Intern Plus International. His passion for research in business and to find a lasting solution to the collapse of businesses made him to join the academia. So you in no doubt, we are in no doubt in good hands today because we have the perfect match for our topic today in our special guest. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Oyefemi Owuru. You are most welcome, Dr. Owuru, and
Thank you,
we
Mark.
are glad you're able to join us today. We appreciate your willingness to share your Sunday evening, part of your Sunday evening with us and our viewers, and more importantly, being available to impact knowledge from your vast wealth of experience. We appreciate that. Thank you very much
Thank
for joining us. You are most welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So straight away we'll go to the interview segment of our show. And the topic, even though one can say is quite understandable, still needs a bit expansion in such a way to make all our viewers to know the intent of this topic, that is understanding the concept of it. So I will start by asking, what are the fundamental principles of or commandment, as we refer to it now, that drives business profitability?
Thank you so much for having me. I will start by saying there are some principles that are expected of every business person who is committed to, adding value, and creating, value, adding value, and also creating value. So now I will also take a cue or borrow from the religious text, which came up with the Ten Commandments. So also going to peg mine as the Ten Commandments of profit making in business. So I will start by saying, number one of the ways by which you can drive business profitability is research and development. That's number one. It's very key. Research and development is one thing many business owners fail to, inculcate into their corporate structure. There's nothing you can do, in business and even life generally without doing research, or the long range what you are looking at. You have to base it on research, your product, your services, the values you want to add, to the society. It must be based on research. You must do a lot of research. You must gather data. You must be able to analyze and see how you can marry your findings with your business outlook. So it's very important. That's number one, research and development. Number two, you must be able to offer value. Those are part of the things that will drive business profitability, value in terms of, it could be pricing, it could be, consumer needs, it could be consumer tastes. These are the things that consumers are looking at. They want to see how they can derive satisfaction from the business model you've come up with. So it's very, very important as a business be able to manage your costs. You must be able to keep operational costs at a particular level. You must be able to optimize processes and also negotiate better deals, with your suppliers and the stakeholders to your business. So cost management is very important. Number four, we have customer satisfaction. As they always say, customer is king. Customer is king when it comes to business. You can't overemphasize the importance of customer satisfaction. If your customers are not satisfied, then you are no longer in business. So your customers must be satisfied at all times. It is their satisfaction that will bring about continuous patronage. It is their satisfaction that will bring about customer loyalty, you know, and customer retention. All these things are what is going to make your business profitable. So also we are also going to look at number five, innovation. As a business, you must be innovative. You must find new ways of doing things. You must find new ways of adding value to your customers. You must find, good processes, short processes, fast processes, in order to be able to meet up with customer demands and customer needs, which also we translate into profitability for your business. Number six, we have investing in strong brand and identity. It's very important. Your brand is what your customers will see before they even see your organization. So it's very important you invest in strong brand identity. Something that will catch the eyes of your consumers or potential customers. These are things that consumers look at. Consumers of today are visual consumers. They want to see before they consume or before they taste. So it's also very important. If you have a strong brand, that will also drive your profitability. Also, number seven, we are also looking at optimizing pricing strategy. Optimizing pricing strategy. These are very important. Also, if you can, work with your suppliers, people who supply you raw materials, and be able to work out a good deal, that will also help you with your pricing. Your pricing is very important. If your pricing is something that is affordable to consumers, then people will, definitely patronize you. You understand? So, there's no point overpricing your products when other, competing products are selling at a different price. It's always good you put your prices at a competitive, range. So that will also help you in driving profitability. Another one is also leverage of economies of scale. As your business grows, takes advantage of economies of scale by negotiating better deals, and streamlining operations for expanding into new markets. By the time you engage in all these things, you save more capital that will have either through been, spent, in this area. So you'll be able to save more capital to invest in other areas you are looking at. Number nine, cash flow management. This is also very important. Maintaining a healthy cash flow by implementing efficient invoicing, collection processes, and managing inventory levels and controlling expenses. Expenses control is a huge task for entrepreneurs and business owners. Every organization wants to make sure that they bring out the expenses of their organization so that their revenue will also increase. So you must continue to improve and adapt. Your in the market you find yourself, in the industry you find yourself, in the sphere of business you find yourself. So as you begin to push forward, then you realize that many obstacles are coming, and as they are coming, you are solving them and you're adapting, to the needs of the market. So that is for that. That's the 10 fundamental principles, or hitherto you can call it commandments, to drive business profitability. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. So we've done excellently well to that question. And I just want to know, does this relate to a particular industry, or does this cut across all industry or businesses?
Oh, that's a very good question. Well, as regards these principles, they cut across all industries. But I will just push this forward. In accounting, because there's no business you do that you won't consider accounting. You have to accounting is the lifeline of every business. So now, the principles and commandments, they cut across all industries. But the only difference is that there's what we call classification.
Okay.
It depends on the industry in which you operate. How you record them also depends on the industry in which you find yourself, and how you them, to the public, to your shareholders, to government, even to your consumers, your customers. It's very important because it differs. It's industry based, but the principles are all the same.
Same. Thank you very much. So you mentioned something about relating to financial management when you talk of cash flow and all that. So how does effective financial management contribute to adhering to these profit commandments?
Okay, good. As I said earlier, financial management is one thing that will assist you to be able to follow through with these 10 commandments. Financial management is basically managing all the resources available to that organization. Part of which is you know cost management is part of it. If you imbibe the culture of cost management, you discover that when you are managing your cost, in terms of you take your organization, you x-ray your organization as a whole, you look at the fundamentals of your organization, and look at the business process. Business process is one of the big killers of organization, business process. So every organization wants to look for the fastest, most harmonious way in doing business. So you want to look at your business process, you want to look at how much it costs, you to be able to run this particular operation, or to be able to produce this particular product, or be able to offer this particular service. Another which is cost management. Another one is also investment diversification. It's a very important principle, or I would like a very important strategy. Let me put it that way. It's a strategy. Investment diversification. As an organization, your primary goal is to meet customers' needs and also add value. So part of the things you are looking at is cost consumers or customers, they have preferences, and once they enjoy a particular service or product to a particular level, they might begin to look outward, or look at other competitors, or look elsewhere. That has to do with taste and in preference. So now you have to look at, okay, also as a business, for you to be able to drive your profitability, you must be able to diversify your portfolio. Look at other areas too where you can invest, so that because there are some businesses that are seasonal. You understand what I'm saying? So by the time you have your portfolio is diversified, you'll be able to exploit this opportunity. So when a business is at a low, at a particular period, you have other businesses too that are thriving during that period. So this will also help you to be able to adhere to these commandments. All these things I mentioned, all these strategies and all these principles, cost management and all other things. You'll be able to. Those are part of financial management, and it will help you to be able to adhere to these profit commandments.
Thank you very much. And these are useful tips for our business owners. Now we've talked about profitability And when you are giving the 10 commandments, you mentioned something about pricing, getting the pricing, optimization of pricing. So can you just explain to us the impact of pricing strategies on business profit?
Thank you. Pricing strategy is a very, very important strategy that every organization must employ. Pricing, you want to look at your competitors and look at their pricing, look at the source where they get their raw materials from, or look at the source where they, where they, purchase equipment or technology to be able to deliver service. These are things that you should look at. So from there, you begin to do your maths. You should be able to calculate if they can be getting these raw materials from this particular source. Then if I can get from a reliable source that will give me a very good price, then I should be able to, once I produce my product or once I offer my service, I should be able to, give a competitive pricing. You want to look at, you want to, broker deals with people who are supplying products. You want to broker deals with people who are doing business with you, for you to be able to deliver such services. So pricing strategy is very, very good. You can
So
also employ
that's,
what we call mystery shopping. Yeah, a mystery shopper. Can you hear me?
yeah, sure.
Are you with me, ma?
Mystery shopper. That, yeah,
Okay,
I
okay,
can
thank you.
hear you. You are talking of
Yes, you can.
mystery shopper, those who will go on pretense to be real shoppers just to get some
Oh,
information about the
exactly.
pricing and the costing. Yeah.
Uh,
The network is a bit. Are you done on that point? Okay, if you can hear me.
are you with me?
Oh, yes, I heard the point about the mystery shopper.
The
It's
line
just
is
that
also
the
breaking from
network
my
is
end.
from your end. So it's both ways. It's a network.
Okay, ma.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
So I think that has actually answered the question on the impact of pricing on profitability. We need to get the pricing right to make sure that we don't overprice our own product, and that's part of what you
Yes.
can get when you go as mystery shopper. Yeah. Okay, that is very good. Now we've talked about pricing, profitability. Let us take this from the angle of customer. So how do customer satisfaction, because you also mentioned that in the 10 commandments, so to say, how do customer satisfaction and retention align with the commandment for achieving business profits?
Well, that's a very good question. Customer satisfaction, to re-echo it again, action, is very key, is germane, to every business. Once your customers are satisfied, then they will be able to come back and patronize you. But once your customer are dissatisfied, then you don't have any reason to be in business. So customer satisfaction should be what should be at the top of your list. Top priority. It should be taken seriously, even much more than any other thing, much more than your strategy, much more than your staff, much more than your operations, much more than every other thing. Because once you get all those ones right, and you don't get customer satisfaction right, then you have a problem. I wonder who you are going to sell to. So customer satisfaction is very key. This will help you to be able to achieve your set targets. They are the reason. Customers are the reason why you are in business. That should be your watchword. Customers are the reason why you are in business. So once you know that, then you will begin to work towards ensuring that your customers are satisfied at all means or by any means necessary. It's very important, because you begin to deploy strategies, most especially. I will mention one of the strategies you can use to give customer retention and satisfaction is what we refer to as customer feedback. Is a very good mechanism in which you're able to know the response of your customers towards your service or towards your product. So by the time you get customers' feedback, it will help you to be able to improve on the areas which you are lacking. So these are one of the areas by which you can do a personal interview. You can go all out, interview your customers who are patronizing you. And you can also ask them questions, on how they feel on your service and what they think you can do better. Customer satisfaction is very key. Once your customers are satisfied, then you can know that you will be in business for a long period of time. So that will definitely boost your revenue and also drive your business profitability.
Thank you very much. That's customer side. Well, we also have to produce, which is from the operational side. Even if when we're rendering service, we still have the operational side. So, on the operational side, what operational practices do you consider crucial for maintaining high profitability?
Oh, that's a very good question too. Operational practices, you have to look at as I said earlier, you have to look at your organization as a whole. You look at the operational modus operandi of your organization and look at the one that you can see that whenever you undertake this operational practice is always bringing out the best, in terms of monetary value, in terms of customer satisfaction, in terms of organizational image. All these are the things you should look at. Once you get a hold of these operational practices, that that once you embark on them, you'll be able to do. For example, you should be able to do what they call organizations engage in what they call market activation. Market activation is a way to create, is also an operational practice. It's a way to create awareness, in terms of your products, what you offer, and the value you intend to add to customers. This is a practice whereby you go outside, you meet customers. We should have seen, companies, they go by the roadside, they mount all their trucks, they bring it out, they bring a lot of people, dancers, they paint everywhere colorful, and they begin to play music, to attract customers. Yes, to be able to attract customers. Everybody will be interested. Why are they bringing this? Why are they doing this? Why are they performing this activity? Everybody will be interested in such a product or service or such organization, and they want to know. So these are one of the practices that once you identify them, you intensify your efforts. It might be another thing in your own industry, in the industry you are operating in, but you must be able to know the practice that will always project your organization in a very good image. That's one. Then two, you look at operational activities or processes that are costly. Sometimes some operational practices might be good, but on the other hand, they might be so costly. So if you undertake, most especially when your capital is not all that huge, you don't have access to so much capital, but you have enough for you to be able to start a business, then you should be looking at operational activities within your budget. You shouldn't look at operational practices that will blow your budget off the roof. This is very important, because once you embark on such practices, at the end of the day, it's just like you are gambling. So it's very important for you to be able to identify viable operational practices, and begin to implement them with everything you have. Thank you.
Okay, so in a nutshell, the operational practice that should really matter to us is the one that communicates to our customers our values, our core values. Because
Yes.
in saying projecting ourselves to make sure that we do the best and
Yep.
our customers are satisfied, it relates to the values and ethos of that company. What do you
Exactly.
pride yourself in? So thank you very much. In all this, is there a way, maybe very in a very short answer, a way technology can also, or technology automation can also be used to enhance this operational practice for profitability in companies?
Oh, wonderful. Technology is something we cannot remove, even in the modern, in today's business. You can't remove it from the business landscape, and it's very important we begin to inculcate or imbibe the attitude of technology. We can no longer do business as usual. In this era that we're in. So technology is something that once you are starting a business or you are operating a business, you should merge technology with your business. We have food vendors, for example, who are beginning to, they are providing chatbots where you can chat with a particular AI. The AI is going to take your what's it called, your demand, your needs, take it into consideration, and give it to people at the back end. They'll be able to prepare the services tailored to what you need and be able to meet your demand. That is for that. Then also we have businesses. I can take the example of the banks. Banks are, technology is about solving problems. So banks discovered that there's still long queues in their banking hall. POS has been introduced a long time ago, but then they came up with a strategy on how to use POS effectively. So instead of people coming to the bank, flooding the banking hall, going to the ATM, so the bank disenfranchised some of their services. So they deployed POS to almost every business or almost every corner of the street. So customers can always, take advantage of financial services without even leaving their comfort zone. So it's a technology that is easing the way of doing business. So once you do this, a lot of people will want to take advantage of such technology since they know that you are giving them they will definitely want to patronize you more. In today's business, we see a lot of people deploy technology. People tend to move towards such organization and tend to, exploit their services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll go on a short break right now and we'll be back. But before we go, I'd like to recognize our regular viewers that have joined us. Adenito from Lagos, Femi Simi from Lagos also has joined us. As we progress in the program, others will be recognized. So we'll go on a short break and be right back. Please remain connected. Thank you. You are most welcome. So we'll continue our interview. We talked about operation, then we need to look at the market. What competitive strategies can businesses employ to ensure sustainable profitability?
Okay, thank you. The competitive strategies that can be employed by businesses are vast. There are many, but I'll just try and mention a few. Some of this competitive strategy is one. I'm going to marry it with the last answer I gave. Technology, technology. If you adopt it to your business, will always give you a competitive advantage over that's one. And two, your product, you ensure that your product is always a step ahead of other organizations or the service you render. It could be time, it could be your turnaround time, maybe the time you use to process a particular service, industry based might just be like maybe 20 minutes. But with the use of technology and strategy, we could, shorten the turnaround time to like 5 minutes. These are the things consumers or customers, potential customers will look at, even investors. These are the things that they will definitely look at. I want to patronize you. You understand? Then also you also look at the area of operations too. In production, the time and you look at the materials, the raw materials used to produce your product. This will give you competitive advantage, in the markets against other competitors. And these are the things that will attract customers. As I said earlier, also these are also things that will attract investors. These are also things that will attract creditors, to your organizations, because they are seeing that you are optimizing the resources available to you to be able to give yourself competitive advantage in the market. So this definitely will drive profitability. These strategies being employed will definitely drive profitability. Thank you.
Thank you. So creating a uniqueness for our brand, and then making sure our product is of standard so that customers will keep coming back, and to and their trust
Exactly.
in customer and the markets will give us that competitive edge. Thank you very much. In all that we have talked about, even though we know even in business there's an element of risk, but even in trying to maximize our profit, the element of risk also features. So what are the key risks that can threaten business profitability, and how can they be mitigated?
Okay, thank you. This is also a very, very important aspect of business. Risk is something you cannot run away from. As a business owner, you must be a risk taker and not risk averse. So now, this the key risk that could threaten a business profitability. We are looking at environmental risk. That could be it's a major risk that's happening, and it's something we cannot run away from. Uh, Secondly, we are looking at regulatory risk. Government can come out with policies that could be detrimental to your business operations. We are also looking at operational risk also, the risk that you are exposed to, internally, as a business. So this risk also threaten profitability, because environmental risk, for example, if you are operating a business that is exposed to environmental elements. These elements probably maybe too much exposure to sun, or too much exposure to rain, all these, for example, agricultural products, once there's flooding, once you are in the planting season and there's flooding, is a risk. It's detrimental to the kind of business you are doing. You understand? And also, you could also, go against government regulation by, when in your course of business, you are polluting the environment, you are doing things that are detrimental, to the ecosystem. So government can come down with a regulation and shut you down. So you must ensure that all these risks are things that you try to minimize. You ensure that your operations are in line with all these factors, these key risks that are mentioned. Ensure that you are not always against government regulation. You do things according to what government has told you to do them, because your capital, your strategy, your operation, the operations you deployed and everything can't save you from this risk if you don't mitigate against them. These are the things that these risks are actually beyond your control, beyond something you can control ordinarily. But then we can always bring them to the barest minimum. So you ensure that the industry in which you operate, you look at the risk. You can take these three factors I told you: environmental risk, regulatory risk, and operational risk. You map out your risk exposure as an organization and see where you fall into, and you see which one is, frequently occurs in your industry, and try to mitigate against them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is something that we all know. We have to face risk, but it should be a calculated risk, because you can't just face all risk. Some risk can make you to go down under. So, like you have said, there are some government regulations that one may not foresee. So perhaps in making projection, there are some contingencies you have to put aside, because it's not all risk that you can project against, like sudden government change in policy, government policy. I'm sure some of us know what is happening to landmark now. Billions are jeopardized in that business sector. So it may not have been foreseen. But like you said, when you know the industry you belong, there are some risks that you can easily anticipate, you can second guess, and therefore make preparation to cover yourself to an extent, or possibly insure against, to just keep the loss to barest minimum when it happens. So thank you very much for that. Then in this that we've talked about risk and all that, we need to look at the place of leadership in getting this commandment right. Leadership and culture of the organization. How does leadership influence the implementation of profit commandments within a business?
Okay, good. Leadership is very, very important, and your leadership style will determine how far you go. For example, I'll just take a management scholar by the name Henry Fayol, who is the father of scientific management. He brought us from the conventional way of managing business to a scientific one. And what he is saying is that we should look at the most effective way and the most appropriate personnel for a task. It's very important. So now, why am I saying this? Your leadership style, if you adopt, we have several management leadership, you must be known for a particular leadership style, and this leadership style influence, the profitability of an organization. Like, for example, I mentioned the scientific management. If you don't find the most effective way of performing a task and looking for the right person for that particular task or that particular job, that means you might not be able to get that job done or that task done effectively, and you will not be able to save costs. So instead of just assigning responsibility to anybody, you should be able to look for the right person for the job and the most effective way. So these are the things that will contribute to profitability, because it will cut down on wastage. It will reduce wastage. Because these are one of the things that affect a business. Because once there's so much waste and your waste is too much, you won't be able to post profits at the end of the day. Your expenses or your expenditure will outstrip your revenue. So at the end of the day, your leadership style matters. The leadership style you've adopted will ensure or will make us to know that you are running your business in the most effective manner that will also yield profit to you at the end of the day.
Thank you very much. So the leaders are responsible for making sure you match the right spec to the right hole, getting the right
Exactly.
person, not using sentiment in hiring person that can do the job most effectively, not just do the job. So that is something that will have a reflection on the bottom line, which is the profit as we are talking about. Okay.
Yes.
In making measurement and analysis, how can businesses use data analytics to enhance their profitability? Because we are in the age of technology and everything is data, data, data. So how can a business use that to enhance profitability?
Okay, that's a good question. Data is everything. Data is, like, I would like to put it, data is what is a tool that you hand yourself as a business person, before you go into business. Data, you should be able to develop a mechanism for you to be able to derive data from outside your organization. It's very important. Data is what will make you to be able to tailor your product or services to the customer's needs. So you develop a mechanism, like, for example, I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this program that feedback is also one of the ways by which you can gather data.
Collect data.
You customers will be able to supply you information about themselves. Yes, you can also use your website as a way to collect information about customers, what they want, how they feel. Then you can also use this new technology now, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is something that is driving businesses forward now, and improving profitability. Artificial intelligence will be able to help you gather data in the most effective and cost effective way. It will help you gather data, feed data, the ones that you think is necessary for your organization. You will have tailored that AI in that line, and it will be able to help you gather data. So when people come and have an interface with your organization, AI will be able to get the data that is necessary for you to be able to meet their need. So it's very important that we gather data. Data is very important. You'll be able to analyze. You'll be able to draw inference. You'll be able to run analytical, or you'll be able to
Get
look at
all the
trends.
information.
And you'll be able
Yes.
to taste of customers. You look at trends. You look at tastes. You look at behavior.
I even use it to
These are
project.
things. Yes, these are things that you should be tracking at all times, because customer preferences change, customer tastes change, and customer behavior change. So these are the things you should look at, and you should develop a mechanism that will help you gather all this data for you to be able to analyze and for you to be able to tailor your services towards that direction. That will help you, that will keep you abreast of every other organization in that industry, and that will definitely make you profitable.
Thank you very, very much. We are running out of time. Thank you. You've been so wonderful, this wonderful insight. that you have shared into this very interesting topic, because we are in business, well, we can say not only to make profit, but profit will keep us going. Without profit, the business will soon die. So it's a very, very important topic, and you have done very well in shedding great insights into the topic. We appreciate you, Dr. Owuru, for doing this for us today, and empowering our business owners with these tips. I'm sure they will be able to apply it better in their various businesses. We appreciate you, and we hope we can call on you next time to require your to share your
Yes.
experience with us. Thank you very much. You have even done part of the job for me. The wrap up session, I will just
Thank you for
quickly
having
take
me.
us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank,
I really
thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. Thank you. So the wrap up session is something I'll just whizzle through because he has given us so much insight. For our business to remain sustainable, we must be sure that we are making profit, and that's why we are looking at this very important topic. So we have taken the definition, there's no need to go over it, and that is where he has analyzed what we mean by the commandment. And ironically too, he was able to come up with 10 of the commandments that is fashioned against the 10 commandments. And they are all very, very important tips on their own. If we're able to follow those principles, I'm sure we will do well in our businesses. Market research, like he told us, is very important. Customer understanding our customer segmentation, very important. We must be ready to deliver value. Our value proposition should be that which is very unique and stand us out, and importantly aligns with customers needs and expectation. The quality of our products and services must be top notch so that we will remain ahead of competitors. So it's very important that we look into that. And cost control, even if we are making profit and we are not controlling costs, it's not likely to get our profitability increase. So we also have to match whatever profit strategies we are adopting with good cost control. To minimize costs, we further increase our profitability. So this is important in the process of budgeting and forecasting, financial analysis, to make sure that we keep in mind and in sight cost control. Efficiency and productivity is also very important to take note, so that we make sure that we are achieving the best, we are getting the best mileage of our time, of our resources. The financial management aspect is using the little or few resources that is available to us judiciously. So it's very, very important. Then getting our pricing right, we cannot run away from that, because no matter how we do, if we overprice ourselves out there in the market, both for services and products, we are not likely to get customer. So we have to get the pricing right. And in getting the pricing right, our costs also feature there. If our cost is high, we'll be looking at our cost, and therefore the price will shoot up. So we need to moderate our costs to the barest minimum so that we can remain competitive price wise. Our price should be sensitive enough and elastic enough to adapt to the situation in the market. We have to have focus on our customer satisfaction for customer retention. We can create loyalty programs, so many things we can do these days with the aid of technology that will make that possible. We need to diversify our revenue. Like they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, so that if something happen one side, another side can keep you afloat while you get things normalized. Strategic partnership, we've said this several times on this show, it's important to form strategic partnership. Things you are not able to do, you can get it done within your partnership network, so that at no time will your business need to go down. Get our hiring right. Don't use sentiment to hire people. Get the right top person for the job to make sure that efficiency is achieved. Employee development is important. We have to continue to do that. We have to leverage on technology. In fact, it is in our interest to do that because it's very cheap to leverage on technology these days, and it gives us more mileage and gets more done than we would been able to do on our own. So also we need to maintain online presence as much as possible, depending on the nature of our services and products. So because of time, I need to rush through all this. I hope you've gotten understanding of these 10 commandments of business profit. Firstly, understanding your market and customers deeply allows for tailored solutions that will meet your customer satisfaction. Secondly, prudent financial management ensure that resources are allocated wisely, maximizing returns while minimizing risk. Thirdly, innovation and adaptability keeps your business ahead of the curve, enabling it to thrive amidst changing circumstances. Fourth, a focus on quality and excellence build trust. Ethical practices and social responsibility are no longer optional. They are integral to building a good brand that resonates with today's consumers' choice. Finally, continue to learn and improve so that we foster a culture that only responds to but anticipates market shifts. So I want to appreciate all of you while I was speaking. I saw something. Ajibade, thank you for joining us. Taiwo Ojo from Abuja, thank you very much for joining us. I hope we've been able to add value to your business today. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please turn on the notification button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay updated with information about our upcoming events and solutions, as well as offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come your way again, let's take these insights that we have shared today, apply them to create thriving, profitable enterprises that stand the test of time. Thank you very much for joining us today. God bless you.